So there are a number of different ways you can demonstrate your knowledge, understanding, and personal skills within English, Maths, and ICT in the planning of inclusive teaching and learning. So all tasks, especially within Maths, English, and ICT, require differentiation because everyone works at a different pace, everyone works at a different level through their own experiences in life, previous education. So it's important that the differentiation is there. And there are a number of challenges within planning, like I said, their previous education, what their home situation might be, cultural differences, financial situations, access to ICT, English, maths, tutoring at school, levels of that. Might be the budget the college doesn't have to provide enough. So there's many bit different challenges when planning. And it's important for a tutor to bring in their own experiences, both their knowledge in those areas, from what they know and how they might be able to apply it, and also any struggles that the tutor has had in the past. It's important to empathise with a student and know that they might have experienced tough times and an inability in certain of those areas. So the tutor may have come through that, found their individual way, and then they're able to pass that on to individual students, or certainly help to find ways to plan inclusive teaching in those areas. So when trying to apply this, we look at the minimum core, and that consists of 4 elements: literacy, language, numeracy, and ICT. And we use the minimum core and try to make it specific to the course in terms of embedding the minimum core specific to the course material as you can. Language and literature can be grouped together in terms of the personal skills there. So a couple of examples of how we can implement that within the class and why it's useful. So looking at the reading side, okay, and using the minimum core, finding and selecting from a range of information sources. So a big thing within journalism is the use of sources to aid the writing of your article and to access the truth, accuracy, things like that. So source findings, fact checking, key skills within journalism, okay, and it's a key skill. When looking at why it's useful, it's a key skill to be able to analyse, okay. So for the students to find sources, to select the correct sources, maybe find other sources to back it up, okay, to make their article more valid, okay, to enable them to write better articles, proper articles, more professional articles, and identifying and selecting the correct sources to use. Certainly in the modern age of fake news, so to speak, it's very important that those sources are correct and accurate. And it's a very key skill to be able to take forward, not just in journalism, but in any employment or whatever step they take after this course. So it's a key skill. We look to build that up. And then speaking. So certainly the one where you are expressing yourself clearly, using communication techniques to help convey meaning and to enhance the delivery and accessibility of the message. So oral communication is very key within a number of aspects of journalism. Specific areas, radio and TV, which we look at on the course, but also just conducting interviews, whether that be for a print publication, for a TV or radio, but just talking to people, expressing yourself and getting them to express themselves through the use of communication is key, and be able to pass on a message, whether you're presenting something, whether you're asking them questions, whether you're explaining something. So we do a lot of that. Interviews key, practice, it also builds confidence. That's why we do it. A big thing is building confidence to be able to communicate with people, getting info, presenting info, and yeah, specifically we use radio and TV for this, and interviews to build their confidence. So that's one way we look to embed a speaking aspect. Okay, get in front of a camera, get in front of a person, standing up doing presentations to staff or even other groups of students in the class. So it's a very, very key thing to be able to do, that sort of oracy, which can get a bit lost with students these days because it's so online. You know, everyone's looking to on computers, email, text, social media, etc. But it's very important to be able to express yourself clearly through speaking and the art of oracy. Looking at numeracy and the minimum core, where you're processing and analysing data. Now, data at statistics is a key numeracy thing, and it's looked at in GCSE quite a bit. But it's something that's becoming bigger in journalism, and this idea of data journalism. And so we're trying to reflect what is becoming a bigger point, whether it's a higher educational course or whether it's in the industry. So we're trying to teach more about data journalism, looking at facts and statistics, which then we need to look at percentages and ratios. So, you know, they're key areas of maths and numeracy, but we try and make it into a very relevant aspect of the course, and we teach orally, but then we have visual aids up in the classroom, we have things on Shobi and PowerPoints to really include everyone in their own learning style. So it's important, like I said, certainly with maths, because everyone hates maths and numeracy, to make it as relevant as possible. So they analyse the data, they process the data, they extract the relevant data, and then they write an article based on those figures, based on those statistics. And then finally, looking at ICT, looking to select, interact with, and use ICT systems relevant to the role. So similar to the numeracy, it's all about relevance, and we try and very much reflect the industry. So we have a lot of software here, which is industry software, what they use out there. So then they have lots of different things to select, whether they want to edit, whether they want to design, whether they want to write, type, upload things, record things. There's lots of different ICT systems to use, and it's important for them to be able to identify and select the ones relevant for that task. So, and with this, we provide lots of different tutorials. So, for example, I might obviously teach it in class, but then a visual representation, step-by-step guide might be available on Shobi. I might record something like this. So, for a student the other day, for example, I taught them how to use a camera and then edit on software on Adobe Premiere Pro on the computers, and we recorded it like this. So she then went off and recorded and did some work at home, and she always had my recording relevant for her, and that was her way of learning. So that's just one way of implementing the minimum core. People work at their own pace, so again, like I said at the beginning, differentiation is key. How can we plan for people to use these ICT systems in their own way, meet their needs at their own pace?